All right, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take apart one of these Geberit toilet flushers because our toilet's giving us issues. It keeps putting water down into the toilet when we don't want it to. So let's see what is going on with this thing. So removing this is quite easy. All you have to do is push it up and pull from the top away because it isn't a spring. So we're just going to push up from the bottom and pull the top part out just like that. And then you've got that part removed. Now you've got this plate on there. To loosen that, pull down on this blue clip there and on this one up there as well. Then you have to turn these white rods that way and be able to kind of sneak them there out of their threaded housing. Basically just pull that out like that. Same thing for this one. Just turn that about 90 degrees and pull that guy right out. Then you can remove this part entirely. So far, so good. Then we got this white plate here that we have to remove. So there's just a couple of clips up there. Here's one right there. Here's one right there. And then you should be able to sneak this by and out of there. So this right here is the valve. So you can open and close that guy just like that, and it's going to refill the tank when you open it back up. I have it, however, closed because, as I mentioned, it kept putting water down here. So we're going to close that guy off again. I'll just show you really quick how that works. So we got two of these different actuators, and when they lift up, all that happens, or when you push them in, what happens is they lift up the blue thing behind them and they're just kind of pulling up the stopper. And that's what allows the water to go from the tank, which is right here, down into the toilet. So anyhow, we also have to remove this actuator here. That's also just on a clip. So I'm going to push this part in here, and then that will pop up and out, and you can just kind of remove it. It's also held in the back by these two knobs there. Those have to go back into those holes right there later. All right, so far so good. We can actually see a little bit better what's going on here. So as I mentioned, when this is open, it's going to refill the tank with water. I'll demonstrate that in just a moment. And in the meantime, what you can see is, holy smokers, there's a whole lot of scale in there. So this is clean water, by the way, coming in from this line here, and it's what gets dumped into the toilet. But as you can see, everything's super duper full of scale where we live. So I think we're just going to have to probably remove them and remove the scale. So let me turn this back off. I'm going to drain the tank. Make sure it's drained really, really well. And then we just have to remove this assembly here. This is the flushing assembly. So you can see that there's those two gray things back there that you can pinch and remove. Okay. For now, so this is a really tight fit. What you have to do is pull this whole assembly up and tilt it that way to be able to have enough clearance to get that guy out of there. Now, we're going to have to clean and descale, or you can probably also replace it, but let's just try descaling it. All right, here's another part down in there as well. We're going to remove this part too, and we're going to descale that guy as well. Finally, while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and descale that float assembly because you can see that sucker is full of scale too. So to do that, we just have to undo this water assembly there, pull that off. Then this is held on by a clip right there. We're going to remove that guy just like so. Just pull it right off. Sneak this guy up and out of there. Ooh, that thing is full of scale too. All right, there's a view inside the tank there. So I'm gonna also throw some descaler down in there afterwards, clean that sucker out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all these in the sink, and I got myself an old toothbrush here. So I'm just going to kind of get off the majority of this stuff here with the toothbrush. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to soak this stuff. So hold on a second. Let me get the rough parts off, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. All right, next step, what I'm going to do is close the stopper, put some water in, and I'm going to put some highly concentrated vinegar on top. So this vinegar is a natural descaling agent. You can use different kinds of things for descaling, but vinegar is really, really strong. So, oof, I can smell it, dang. That is really strong stuff. I'm just gonna cover all this stuff up in that vinegar, let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, come back and rinse it off and clean it off, and it should be good to go. All right, you can see that over time, a lot of this is already flaked off, and some of it's gotten pretty clean itself. There is still some stuff that's really hard and very stubborn, but to be honest, the most important things to get are certainly where the seals are. So make sure that the seals are definitely clean and free of scale, and that should solve the problem anyway of the toilet, you know, running. But anyway, do your best to get these as clean as possible. You may need just another dose or a little bit more vinegar or descaling agent, but again, make sure that these seals are nice and clean and free of scale. Check the action on the two, make sure the action is working properly. Yeah, the stuff looks much better. All right, now what I'm gonna do is just drain the water, and I'm gonna rinse these guys off. Was not able to get this one 100% clear of scale, but pretty close. I mean, and if these are really, really bad, you can buy a new one. I will put a link in the description of this video, so feel free to check that out. Okay, time to put them back in. Clean out the sink a little bit so wifey doesn't get upset. All right, first things first, I'm gonna take this float, the Type 380, and put the float back in. So we're just gonna sneak that back in place and put that in. Just like that. Then we're gonna reach down, grab the water source here, attach that. Before I do, I'm just gonna open this up a little bit and clean out the bottom of the tank a little. Just put a little bit of vinegar down in there as well and clean that out. Okay. And now we're going to attach that guy, just like before. Excellent. Now we're going to take this part and put this in the bottom, put it in its seat. You can see that guy down in there. It's time to take the flusher. Get this guy put back inside. Okay, now it's slid down into place. Let's take a look. It's inside the receptacle, good to go. Let's take a little bit of maneuvering. And now we gotta pinch that gray clip back into place. Now that that's back into place, now we just have to orient these two flushing things correctly. The one with the three nubs there on the top actually goes on the left. So we're gonna turn that to the correct orientation. And now we'll take the flusher. You can see there's two hooks on the flusher. Oops, and those have to go into those blue receptacles there. It's not that easy to show on camera. But then you have to flip these back rods here into their round receptacles and just put this part down, this clip down underneath. And now we should be good to go. So that means when I push this, it should lift up the plunger, and same thing for the other one. This guy fell out. This is just the length adjustment, so you can adjust it real easy. So these both work. Now, oh, now we can put on the rest. So I'm going to take this white plate, put the white plate back in. Those little tabs there that you see, those have to go kind of right in there like so. And then we're going to flip those tabs up and put them in their spot. Okay. Can't forget to turn the water on. All right, now before you put this all back together, you want to make sure that there is no leak here after you've tightened that water fixture. So I got the water turned on and it hasn't been leaking, so it's time to put this back together. And I would suggest here before putting on the rest to try flushing a couple times and seeing how that works. So I'll just let it fill up there. It looks much better now. No more scale on that sucker. Okay, and it's not running there, so that's good. Let's try flushing the toilet once. It works. And it refills. Try the second one. Also works. Okay, let's put this completely back together. So we need this faceplate now. Just stick this on like before. These two guys in there have to get these white rods through there. There we go. It's not that easy to do this one-handed. Okay, so now we got everything back installed. We're gonna put these, there we go, these white parts back in. Snug that up. Press the blue thing in, get that nice and tight. We're gonna push this white part in all the way. Let those threads grip. Press that blue part down. And now you may need to adjust these slightly so that the buttons here press up against there. But that's it. You see we got two clips on here, one there, one there. Just clip that in. Okay, last test. Oh, very nice. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the video, and I hope it was helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to check out the links in the description down below. And until next time, have a good day. And happy pooping.